Excellent. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second class of Qigong for Health and Balance, being presented to us at the East Hampton Library virtually by Tina Curran through Southampton Hospital, the Ed and Phyllis Davis Wellness Center. The East Hampton Library is very happy to have these health events. And without further ado, I'll turn over this morning's class to Tina. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and welcome everyone. So good to see your faces. Just a few words before we begin about safety and relaxation. Hello, Sharon. Stay safe as you do this work. Be sure that you have a space to work in where you're not going to trip over anything, the cat or the baby or the toys, and where if you need something to help you with balance, you have something you can simply touch without leaning on, something you can feel your straightness, but allow yourself to be supported by if you need that. Have water nearby, stay hydrated. And remember that the work we do, Qigong, is about finding our deep ability to relax in ourselves. So we're going to let go of our striving to do anything perfectly or to move our muscles. We're going to be tuning into our internal energy. So I'm going to light a candle to offer the energy of our work for all beings, the energy that we generate as we work together. If I can get a match to light, it's funny. I can't seem to do that. I just tried these matches too. Try another set. There we go. So just to offer all the energy we generate for all as we go through this hour. And let's begin. We're going to just stand for a moment. You let your feet be about as far apart as your shoulders. And tune in to your breath, to an inhalation and exhalation. Where do you feel your breath in your body? Do you feel it here in your chest? Can you allow the feeling of your inhalation to sink way, way, way down? If you put your thumbs in your navel, let your breath come in all the way down where your fingers are meeting, well below your navel, deep in your belly, and feel your inhalation come in there. This is the point that in Qigong we call the Dantian, our center of gravity, our center of motion, both a name for a point about a third of the way into the body, and also for the whole belly, which we think of as the sea of Qi. And feel how with your inhalation, you can actually feel the belly rising. It will move your hands as they rest there. And then sinking back on the exhalation. And each time the belly moves, it pulls your diaphragm down, opens your lungs and your chest quite naturally. And from the Dantian, you can feel down through your legs. Well, first through your pelvis, through your legs, and down to your feet. And feel your feet softening on the earth. Feel all the spaces of all those joints in the pelvis, the hip joint, the knees, the ankles, and all those little joints in between the bones of the feet. You can let your hands down now. But let that feeling from the Dantian soften and relax your legs until you can actually begin to feel the earth through the bottoms of your feet. And remember also that we're going to put a finger at the center of the top of the head. And we're going to imagine from that point, the Ni Wan point in Chinese medicine, that there's a thread that goes up to the center of the heavens. We're imagining, but we feel it as real. And that allows us to feel the support of being lifted and of being able to hang down. So all the muscles, all the joints of your body can soften and hang. Still breathing in the dantian and the feet still flat on the floor. And when you remember that this point is the highest point in your body, you'll find automatically and quite naturally your chin will simply drop a bit and the vertebrae of the back of the neck will elongate. We're going to turn now from the dantian one way and then the other, folding the pelvis towards your left hip and then towards your right hip. Feel how the movement of the whole torso comes from that point. The arms are moved by the torso, the head, the whole one. And then let that movement bring up first your left arm and then your right. And this is our first position. We call it embracing the Tao. A moment to embrace all that is. The hands are touching ever so lightly at the wrists. The elbows are heavy and relaxed. It's the dantian that holds the arms in place, not our muscles. And we feel this energy of embrace as our heart, mind, that's the way it was translated in the classical Chinese, when Qigong and Tai Chi were born. The heart mind rests in the dantian. And you can feel that energy of the heart mind open, allow, and embrace. Now imagine the dantian as a point of light. And with each inhalation, let that point of light expand. So first it fills your belly. And then it fills your whole body and surrounds your whole body. And with each breath, this point becomes a sphere of awareness that grows to hold everyone you know, that grows to hold all the beings of our planet, that grows to hold the animals, the fish, the plants, and that grows to hold our whole earth, a sphere of embrace and awareness with its center in your dantian. And let that sphere continue to grow into the unknown, past our planet, to hold the sun and all the planets of our solar system. And let it continue to grow to hold our galaxy. Billions of suns. And let that sphere continue to grow with each breath till it holds the billions of galaxies that we know of. And maybe the billions of galaxies that we don't know of. And let it continue to grow beyond what you can even begin to imagine. And then beyond that, this sphere of awareness with its center in your Dantian. Feel the benevolence of our universe. And then with your exhalation, begin to bring this sphere back. Back to our galaxy, back to our solar system and our planet. Back to your home. Bringing with it whatever you've found in your exploration. Back to your body. Back to your belly. And let that point rest in your belly. You can let your arms float down, almost as if the room is full of water. And we're going to breathe the arms. We're going to breathe them up with our inhalation and down with our exhalations. We call this the yin-yang breath. Yang, the active, the creative, the awake, and yin, the calming, the gathering, the dreaming, the sleeping. Let your arms be moved by your breath. You don't have to stay exactly in time with me. Although we do find in our classes that people's breaths harmonize. Feel your breath and feel that that is what is moving your arms. Your inhalation brings them up, almost like there are strings on the backs of the wrists, and then the finger. And in the exhalation, the elbows grow heavy. The hands and fingers go as though over a waterfall. The muscles of your back and of your shoulders are completely relaxed. It's the breath that's doing the work. You might feel the shoulder blades slide along the ribs of your back as you inhale. Or feel the ball and socket joint of the shoulders. Feel your joints as empty, spacious. And if you notice a place where there's a glitch in your movement, can you allow the breath to simply move to that space as it fills your body? No judgment of yourself, just acceptance. And we focus also with this breath on an internal circulation of energy that starts at the base of the spine, comes up the back on the inhalation, through the center of the top of the head, down the front, through where your tongue rests on the roof of the mouth. I'm stopping just to show you the rhythm of the breath. You should keep going. And then down the front of the body, through the heart and the dantian, and reconnects to itself at your perineum. A circuit of energy that's always present in us, formed when we are a fetus. Known in Chinese medicine as the two main meridians of the body, the governor's vessel and the conception vessel. We're tracing this circulation with our awareness, releasing where we have been holding, opening where we have been closed. Being aware of that circuit of energy and how it can radiate out to anywhere in the body, and always does. Let's do 3 more breaths. Even more relaxed. Letting the breath flow through every part of you as you inhale. Okay. So our next movement is called the constant bear and looking owl. We're going to have the feet just a bit wider apart. And we're going to shift all the weight to one side and fold that side, and then shift to the other side and fold. The bear is holding a ball, and you can feel how the movement of your dantian is what shifts the weight, what turns the hips, and what turns the ball over. We're inhaling one way and exhaling the other. And we're inhaling into the belly, into the dantian. So use the bear, the constant bear, as your guide here. Feel the heaviness of the bones of the bear in yourself. Feel the softness of the flesh of the bear, of the muscles and tendons and ligaments and fascia. How smoothly all your movements happen from the dantian. Professor Chang, my teacher's teacher, who brought Tai Chi from China, used to say that when you do this movement, this constant bear, remain in a good mood. So you might feel your smile come when you remember that. And of course, remain in a good mood means that you were already in a good mood. So maybe it's like always remain in a good mood. And on the head of the bear is the little looking owl. So what does that owl remind us of? It reminds us of our upright quality, of how we are held up to the heavens. And it reminds us of our wisdom and of our relaxed gaze, the all-seeing owl. We always have our eyes open when we do Tai Chi. Open and soft. Feel your eyelids relax. Maybe they'll even hang down a bit. And your eyebrows and the eyes themselves. Feel it all soften. All the connections of the eyes to the face and the brain. And then observe how your gaze softens. You simply look from your dantian. And you might also notice that you'll see more with your softened gaze. We're in the time of the wood element, which is particularly tuned to the eyes. We'll talk more about that. How are your feet doing? Are they still listening to the earth? Are all those many little joints of the feet open, empty, soft? Your bare paws, think of them as massive, spreading, listening to the earth. And your hips, as you turn to each side, they stay soft. And let's tune in a little bit to our hands. You may have begun to feel energy moving in your body, qi, our vital energy. And you may begin to feel it between your hands now, almost as though you're gathering a ball of energy. With each breath and each movement, we free the qi that we've frozen or locked up inside us, and we gather qi from the air. You might enjoy sometimes doing this movement outside with the fresh air of nature around you if you can. So let's rest. And we're going to utilize some of the qi we have gathered, which maybe you feel in your hands right now. They may even look a little different or feel a little tingly. You can let your hands stroke each other for a minute. And I'd actually like us to do we have a number of, I'm not sure if there are people here who were not here last week, but we do have a number of more formal self-massages. And one of the ones we'll do is actually working with our hands. So let your hands rest with the palms facing your face. The little fingers are just about touching. You can even let the tip of the little fingers touch. And we're going to turn the backs of the hands towards each other, one finger at a time. And when they get to the point where the thumbs are ready, we need to allow our hands to turn over so they face away from us. Now try it again. Thumb, pointer, ring finger. It's the backs of the hands that touch. And then they come back facing us. When they're turning, the elbows, the wrists, the shoulders completely relax. So let's do it together now. I think you've got it. And we're going to inhale as we turn the hands away from it. And exhale as we turn the hands back. And inhale. And exhale. Still feeling the qi in your hand. And how it comes from the dantian with each breath. And one more breath. And then we're going to allow ourselves to bring our Tai Chi touch to anywhere on your body that you would like. If you're alive, your hands are awakened and alive. Let your hand go where you're drawn to the place on the body that maybe that hurts you or is a chronic tight place. Whatever, Professor used to say, if it hurts, touch it. So bring your hands. One hand is fine. I'm bringing two because I can at this place. If I were going for my shoulder, it would just be one hand. And allow the palm to rest in the place you've chosen. Though this is not like a Western massage. We're not manipulating or rubbing. We're simply allowing the palm to bring our chi energy and feel that it's listening to your body, to this place you've chosen. The quality is of presence and attention, as though you're holding a baby. So be there with this place on your body, your baby, and listen. You can do this anytime. It's a really good tool to have in your kit, to bring your hands and your palms and your chi to what hurts. Okay, so we're going to move on. Actually, we're going to do one more of our formal self massages. And for this, we need a chair. So if you have a chair handy, that would be good. It can be a hard chair like mine, or it can be just a couch. Hard chair's better. So we're going to do a knee massage. Knee circles, we call them. And here's how we do this. We're going to, again, be using the energy of the palms. Let the hands rest above the kneecaps. And we're going to be circling the kneecap with the palms. That was one circle. I'm going to ask you to do 49 and count for yourselves. You can always do fewer, but don't do more than 49. The knees are our shock absorbers. Never a reason to tighten your knees. And I know that many people have a lot of pain in their knees as they get older. This is a great way to bring fresh chi to this part of your body. I once fell when I was rollerblading flat on my knees, and I did these 49 circles many times that day, many times. And by the next day, they were fine. So you're bringing your own healing touch. Continue till you get to your finish. I just want to have a look at, see how you're doing. Okay. So continue until you're done. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing in this class. We're teaching, we're studying, we're doing 5-element Qigong. And some of you already know about the 5 elements, but I wanted to give a little brief overview of the 5 elements. One way of understanding the 5 elements is to think of them in terms of the year in nature. Another way is to think of them in terms of our human life cycle. So I'm going to go through and talk about just those 2. So the water element, the most yin, if you imagine this as a circle, the water element is at the bottom of the circle. And the water element is winter. It's the time when most of the energy goes under the ground. It's invisible. It's under the ground. A lot of work is happening as plants in nature prepare for the coming year. And also in the human life cycle, the winter or the water element is when we are in the uterus, when we are a fetus, when we are developing. And then we move on to the wood element, and that's spring. That's where we are right now. We're in the time of spring. And the water element in us is about our all the fluids in the body are a part of the water element, and how we bring in our strength and our determination, and the manifestation in our bodies of the water element is all the fluids, is the bladder, and is the kidneys. And so then we move on, and the bones as well, bones. Move on to the spring, to the wood element, where we are right now. And the wood element manifests in the eyes, in the liver, our official of planning and strategy, and in the gallbladder, and in the muscles. And in the human lifespan, the wood element is the time of growth, because that's what the wood element is about. It's about how a tree in beginning to grow knows where it's going, knows that it's growing towards the light, has a plan for its development. And we have that in us as well. We have that wood element that is our planner, our architect, our vision for ourselves. And I'm going to just go quickly through the others. This is I could spend the whole hour talking, and I don't want to. I want to go back into our movements. But the fire element, summer, the heat of summer, our heart, how we radiate out to others around us, our development of our consciousness, our full maturity as beings, the same at the time when the plants flower. That's the fire element, very quickly. And then we move into late summer, has its own element, and that's the earth. That's the time of harvest, of gathering in everything we've sown. It's maybe middle age of our human life cycle. And the earth element is about eating, and eating on the physical level, but on many levels, taking in, digesting, transforming energy. And that's our stomach, our spleen, not our spleen, yes, our spleen, stomach and spleen. And also the mouth, taking in food. And then we move to the metal element. And the metal element is the end of the year. It's the time when the trees drop their leaves. It's the it's the time of maybe grief, the time of death. It's deep old age for human beings. It's in our manifestation in our daily lives and in our bodies. It's how we let go. It's our lungs, where we can release with every breath toxins and things we don't need in our body. It's our colon, same thing, where we release and let go of what we don't need. Very brief overview of the 5 elements. And today we're going to be working a little bit with the wood element. So let's stand with the feet in our bare width, which is a little wider than our shoulders or hips. And let's shift all the weight over one foot. It can be either foot. You can mirror me or follow me, whatever works for you. Sometimes it matters which is right and left. On this movement, it doesn't. And we're going to allow the dantian just to turn to about 1 o'clock, and notice what's happening. It's moving my empty foot with it. And the arms are coming up in front of the shoulders. All the weight still in one leg. We'll call that the back leg. As we begin to shift the weight into that front foot, and the arms are moved by the body. So we've shifted to about 70%, way more than 2/3 of the weight in that front foot. The hips are relaxed. The feet are relaxed. And now let's go back, slowly shift back into the back foot. And the image here that we're using is of a plant growing let's say right from under the ground on this first shift, slowly, slowly pushing up against the earth, growing towards the light. Maybe you at some point pop out of the ground and then you're still growing cell by cell, moment by moment. And hold it here for a bit. Feel the precision of having more than 2/3 of the weight over that front foot. The weight is not in the middle. It's much more over the front foot. And feel the relaxation of your hips. Or maybe I want to say the softening. Is there a place where your hips or your knees are grabbing? Are both feet still adhering to the earth? That front one that has a lot of the weight, and the back foot. Soften, soften. And let's shift back again. Slowly back to the root for more nourishment that you're going to bring to your growth. And one more time. Feel how the arms are totally relaxed and empty and moved by the dantian. We call this grow bamboo, this movement. And feel the bamboo with its great straightness reaching towards the light, towards the sun. Let's go back again to that back foot. The arms have come back in front of the shoulders. And let's turn to the front, closing that foot that was on the diagonal. And now shifting into that foot, opening the other foot. And come forward, slowly, slowly. Feeling your growth. You know, the time for the wood element is seen as childhood and teenage years. That's when we grow our bodies. But we are always growing. The wood element is always a strong part of us, the architect of our lives. Let's go back to the back foot, to the root. And come forward again. Feeling that you really do have more than 2/3 of the weight over the right foot, or whichever foot you're on now. Whichever foot is your front foot now. And when we hold the position like this, you may begin to feel some shakiness in your legs. We call it burning in. It's actually it's the only good discomfort in Tai Chi. If something else hurts you, you want to relax and gently come out of the position. But when you're burning in, see if you can relax and stay in the position. See what you can soften and what you can hang out with for just a bit longer. And then we'll shake back. And of course, we can do this grow bamboo in a more rhythmic pattern. Let's exhale back all the way to the root and inhale forward. Reaching that precise point and then exhaling back. The wood element in us is always looking for a new space to grow into. Or let's say it's the part of us that looks for a new space to grow into. That sends us off on an adventure. That makes something new. Next time when you get to the back leg, let's turn, closing the foot, shift across, opening in the first direction. And we're moving with the breath. We're inhaling forward and we're exhaling back. And each shift is like a little spurt of growth. We've just changed our direction. We've modified our direction, haven't we? And rest. Everybody okay? Good. I like this thumbs up. All right, we'll do just a, I always take longer than I think with each thing, so we're not going to be able to do everything I planned. But let's do what we did last week, actually, our eye circles. I think it's really important at this moment to bring more healing to the eyes this wood time. So we're going to, for this exercise, for this eye circles, we want to make what we call the fist of no fist, which will be involved in several of our things that we do together. It's a soft and yet definite fist. It's not a sloppy, like, oh yeah, I'm making you fist. Real bringing together of the hands, the 5 elements, and yet completely relaxed. And to do this, these eye circles, we're going to rest the pointer finger above the eyebrows, and the thumbs, the first knuckle of the thumbs, are going to be doing what the palms did previously. They're going to be our connection from the dantian to the body, and they're going to listen. And we're going to make circles down around the whole eye socket, across the eyebrow, and back to where we began. Okay, so 36 circles. You can, first of all, I didn't say, but you can sit down to do this if you like. That's fine. Because you want to be sure that the shoulders, the elbows, everything stays so soft. And that thumb is listening to the eye. So our vision is a very important part of the wood element. Our literal vision, what we see when we look around, our eyes, the health of our eyes, and also our vision for ourselves of where we're going, of who we are. "36, you can do fewer, don't do more. Let the elbows, the shoulders stay relaxed. So when you're ready, we're going to repeat the 3 exercises we did to open the hour. And I want to encourage you all to do these movements as a daily routine. And we'll talk about that as we go through them. So we began the hour with embracing the Tao, and then the yin yang breath. And then the constant bear with the feet a little wider. We began the hour that way, and I would recommend, if you do these as a daily routine, that you begin your day that way. But we're going to end the hour by doing them in the opposite order, which we recommend as your evening part of the daily routine. So I'm sorry, I want to move back where you can really see my feet. They're a little further apart than my shoulders as we begin the constant bear. This is also a very powerful movement to do anytime. Anytime that you are feeling like you need to refresh yourself, reset, a reset button. Anytime that you're tired and you need to be awake. Sorry about that. Anytime that you're jittery or anxious and you want to relax, or you've been sitting at your computer too long, or riding in a car and you're stiff. Simply be with the bear and the owl, feeling your connection to the earth, and your head top held up to the heavens. Tuning into your breath in the Dantian. And at the end of the day, I usually do these right before I'm ready to go to bed. And when you begin with the constant bear, it's a great way to let go of the day. Let go of your hopes and your fears. Let go of the good things and the hard things that happened. Let go of your plans and your schedules. Let go of the 10,000 things and simply return to your belly, to your Dantian, and to your breath. Feeling your feet on the earth, and that little owl reminding you of your connection to your heaven. And let's step in to our shoulder or hip width for the yin yang breath. Another powerful exercise for resetting anytime. And when you're doing it at night before bed. Just tuning yourself into this great pattern of the cosmos, the yang and the yin. Great pattern of our human understanding as we exist through our breath, the exhale and the inhale. Through our pattern of day and night, and the earth's relationship to the sun. You may find as you do a number of these breaths that your breath becomes long and slow and fine. Let's do 2 more breaths after the one you're on now. And then let your dantian bring up the arms to embrace the Tao. So the Tao, one way we can think of the Tao is all that is, and another way we can think of it is as our path or our way in this life. So when you're doing this movement before bed, when you're holding this position, as you soften and release, maybe you'll feel a moment of acceptance of your way and your life and your path. A moment of embrace. Acceptance of yourself. Okay. How is everybody? Have questions? We have a couple more minutes.
Thank you, Tina.
You're welcome, Sharon. Thank you for being here. Good to see you.
Next time.
Well, everyone looks like you're, oh, Wendy says my first time and it's actually tiring. You know, isn't it surprising? It doesn't seem like we're doing much compared to an aerobics class or something, but in fact, we are going very deep. So yeah, I hope that it's a good tiring.
I've got a bit limited mobility, so I'm not used to holding my arms up, for example. And just holding my arms up, it's actually really tiring. So I sat a lot of it out, but I will try harder next week.
And we'll talk about that more next week, because we don't want our arms to feel that we're holding them up. We want to allow.
Yeah, my arms feel very heavy up here, very heavy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Wendy. We'll talk about that more next week for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Yeah, very good, because you want to actually work with finding a way that your arms can relax and be held by the dantian. And one way is to allow them to go down, hang down, and then bring them back up again, gently and softly. So we'll talk more about that next week. I'm writing myself a note.
Yeah, when you said like the wood exercise where you're leaning forwards and backwards on your legs, just standing up and putting weight where I don't normally do. I was finding my legs were very tired doing that as well.
Well, that is strengthening for your legs, so that's not a bad thing if you can sit.
No, it's a very good thing. I had a stroke last year, so this is all very good for strengthening bits of me that I haven't used for a long time.
Yes, yes. Strength through softness, we call it. All right, good. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Good. Good, good.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina. And thank you everybody for zooming in. And we hope you enjoyed the class. And the next class will be on Monday, May the 3rd. Actually, what is it where I'm looking at? No, it's actually May 1st. Monday is May 1st. And we will reconvene at the same time. Until then, I hope everybody has a great week ahead and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again.